Hello, Boldarians, and welcome back to Boldly Becoming. Now, I was listening to Lady Lady by Olivia Dean. Please check it out. There is a line that has been replaying in my head all month. The line is, I don't need the things I used to hold on to. Now, isn't that exactly what October was about? Letting go, evolving, becoming someone braver and truer. Lady Lady is about a quiet shifting into a womanhood you didn't expect. It's about realizing you don't need what you once thought you couldn't live without. Now, Olivia, this artist, says the song is about the feeling of having to change just as you're getting used to a version of yourself. And that line, now that was straight up October energy. And we had a great month with great boldly becoming episodes. First, starting with letting go without losing yourself, releasing roles and relationships with grace, trusting God's process, and holding on to yourself in the letting go. Our next episode, we talked about boundaries as an act of love. We're not walls of rejection, but gates of love, protecting our peace and our relationships through clarity and truth. Our third episode of the month was Courage in the Face of Change, where we chose faith when God shifts your path, finding courage in an unexpected transition, and walking boldly into the unknown. Then that fourth episode was the power of rest and simplicity in a hustle world, naming the toxic pull of hustle culture, reclaiming stillness and practicing rhythms that restore the soul. Now, we're going to go back and talk about my reflections of each episode. So episode 5, letting go without losing yourself. We open October with release, learning to surrender relationships, roles, or seasons with grace, without abandoning who we are at the core. Letting go isn't about weakness, it's about trust. Trusting God's process, trusting ourselves to keep becoming. So when I think back on this episode, I recognize how far I've come just in 2025 alone. And I'm literally in a let go season. And yet in this season, I didn't feel lost. I felt like I found myself. I found a greater, intimate, and deeper relationship with who I am by simply taking my hand off the wheel and letting God drive. Now, I won't lie. This has been a scary season because with God behind the wheel, He didn't get moving until we took some heavy things out of the car. He removed old baggage, new baggage, and even some things I really enjoyed. But I still remained whole. And in that wholeness, I realized those things didn't make me, nor did they complete me. Now, in episode 6, boundaries as an act of love. Now, reflecting back on this episode, I realized that just like last month, these things are still in practice. As much as this episode was about boundaries, at its core, it was really about how we approach love, that self-love. I am learning that the love I have for myself and even for others deserves to be catered, watered, and preserved in every way. Love is not a feeling, it is a practice. And loving through boundaries is a necessity in every aspect of my life. When I set boundaries for others out of love, I am also setting them for myself. Those boundaries become a mirror reflecting how I see myself and how I care for myself. That truth is reshaping how I show up daily with God, with others, and me. Now, episode 7, Courage in the Face of Change. I want to say this is becoming my favorite episode, actually. So when I think back on this episode, I'm reminded that courage isn't just for moments of crisis. It's for moments when everything feels steady and God still calls us into the unknown. This season has shown me that unexpected change can be the most unsettling. And sometimes God asks us to release what feels safe, good, and familiar and step into what we don't yet understand. That requires a courage that doesn't come from us, it comes from trusting Him. And I've learned that courage and change is also about identity. Whether it shifts in our bodies, our families, or the roles we carry, the question becomes, can I still show up as myself, unashamed, unapologetic, even when the landscape of my life looks different? And perhaps the hardest truth, sometimes courage looks like being seen after years of hiding or risking what's comfortable to protect others, to serve them, or to love others. Change has a way of calling out a braver version of us we didn't know we had. And I am walking in that courage right now, actually in this very moment, because the revamp of Boldly Becoming is a testament to both not just my professional, but also fear is my reflection on episode 8, The Power of Rest and Simplicity in a Hustle World. Now, when I think back on this, what stands out most is how powerful it was to have my very first guest on this revamp season, my aunt, who joined me without hesitation. Her presence reminded me that rest and simplicity aren't just nice ideas. They are practices we can pass down and live out in community. Personally, this conversation forced me to face how often I still flirt with hustle culture. Even as I preach boundaries, courage, and letting go, I sometimes find myself believing that my worth is tied to what I do. Now, prior to this revamp, I started to give into the hustle culture and care what other people thought, basing my value on numbers. And the wild part is, it wasn't even about other people's opinions. It was my own misaligned focus and distorted thoughts feeding that lie. But this episode was a mirror, reminding me that choosing rest is an act of faith and choosing simplicity is an act of trust. Having my aunt share her wisdom also showed me that Boldly Becoming isn't just about my voice. It's about creating space where other voices, especially the ones we love, can remind us of truths we already know, but sometimes forget to live. This reflection leaves me asking myself daily, am I making room for peace? Am I honoring my mind, my body, and my spirit with simplicity? Or am I chasing noise? This episode taught me that rest isn't passive. It's powerful, intentional, and deeply courageous. We had a great October. All 4 of those episodes was amazing. So as we close this month, I also want to give you a glimpse, just a little peek, of where we're headed in November. We'll be diving into themes of renewal, gratitude, and alignment. Expect episodes that prepare your spirit for the holiday season and remind you that slowing down doesn't mean falling behind. November is about anchoring ourselves in thankfulness, recalibrating our purpose, and keeping our roots deep in love as the year winds down. So as we close out October, I want to leave you with this vision. Imagine Jesus sitting across from you, looking into your eyes. I'm looking at you, Jesus looking at you too. And he's saying, I know courage in the face of change because I lived it first. He stepped away from heaven's throne to take on sin, to live among us, to die and rise again, all because of love. That's the kind of courage we carry. So whether you're letting go, setting boundaries, embracing change, or reclaiming rest, remember that you are walking with the same spirit that carried Jesus through his greatest sacrifice. Boldarians, this has been your October recap. And remember, this is a YouTube and Facebook exclusive, and it's happening each month. So if this blessed you, don't forget to share it with a friend. Tell them to subscribe. You subscribe to the channel, which is Boldly Becoming Podcast, as well as our Facebook page under Boldly Becoming, and stay connected for what's ahead. Keep becoming, keep trusting your inner voice, keep showing up boldly. So until next time, Boldarians, this is Boldly Becoming.